When I tell you that this video has zero desire to be made, I'm not joking, okay?
We could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours.
Welcome back. Okay, team, welcome back. All right, here's the scoop. Here's the scoop. Poopity doopity doop, okay? This video does not want to exist in any way, shape, or form at all. Anything and everything that can mess up this video, it's gonna happen. So everybody needs to buckle up and be prepared, okay? If you're new here, my name is Sam. I'm a pop culture commentary channel. I also apparently now do vlogging, okay, as well, okay? So if you wanna watch my vlogs, I got a lot going on, okay? And also, I do recaps and fun little videos about my favorite TV shows, my reality TV shows, okay? And one of my favorite reality TV shows of all time is Vanderpump Rules, okay? As you can tell, I'm very tense right now, okay? I'm very tense. I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot going on. I have a lot of emotions, okay? I did my makeup for you guys. I did my hair for you guys. I wanted to look kind of cute and fancy. These barrettes, they're probably gonna come out mid-video, okay? They're probably gonna come out mid-video. Also, I am doing this video on my phone, mother truckers. That's how dedicated I am, okay? Because you guys have been asking, okay? I'm not a big creator, okay? I'm not a giant, amazing, wonderful 700 million follower creator, okay? I'm just a little baby girl, okay, creator. But every day someone asks me, when is the season 5 recap coming out? When are you doing the season 5 recap? I'm shocked I haven't lost followers because of it. Here it is. Here it is. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be raw, baby. There is a massive chance that I'm not even going to edit this video because I just want to get it out for you guys and I just want to be released of this demon inside of me. Okay? Now listen, season 5 of Vanderpump Rules is one of my favorite seasons. Okay? Next to season 6, which is just balls to the wall nut job. Okay? I do enjoy it very, 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 very much. And what's crazy to me is that we still have 3 more seasons of Jax, Stassi, and Kristen. 3 more seasons. It's crazy to me. You guys, we're only halfway through the show that is Vanderpump Rules. We're only halfway through, okay? And if you think I'm recapping season 10 and season 11, you're on drugs, okay? You're crazy. All right, you guys, so I have my little notes here, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a lot, okay? My notes app currently has 109 pages of notes, okay? 109. So we have a lot to talk about, all right? And we're gonna go episode by episode this time. Instead of going from, storyline to storyline, no. I already hate these barrettes. We are going to go from episode by episode. I'm gonna mix it up, okay? I gotta keep you guys on your toes, okay? I have to torture you into not knowing if I'm ever even gonna show you this goddamn video. But also, I need to keep you on your toes, okay? I'm keeping you on your toes right now because this lighting, trash. This video quality, trash. But you guys don't care because I don't even think you guys are visually watching me. I think you guys are just listening and I'm okay with that because I think I have a nice little voice, okay? Look at my new little tablet that I bought myself because I wanted to have something to write notes on that wasn't paper anymore. I was getting over it. I felt like I was not helping, the world out, Mother Nature, okay? Season 4. Where we've come from season 4. Okay, so season 4, as you guys know, I did not finish recapping. Why did I not finish recapping it? Because God didn't want me to. Beyonce, the Almighty, she clearly didn't want me to do that. Okay, she said, absolutely not, do not finish it. I'm going to make sure that you never finish it a day in your goddamn life. She made sure that I literally had every obstacle in the way to never finish that ever again. And she won, okay? You won, girl. You got it. You got what you wanted. So we skipped to season 5. Well, season 5 apparently is haunted as well. So, but this is what we have up to date as of right now, okay? Tom Sandoval. This is the era of the worst hair that this man has ever had. He had the long, gross hair with the random gray streaks in it. It was disgusting. It was the worst hair he's ever had. It's the worst look he's ever had. He looked absolutely disgusting. Okay, we did not like it. We did not appreciate it. It was not fun. It was not fresh. It was not cool. So Brittany and Jax, we now know, have been dating for about a year, and Brittany now finally works at SUR. Okay, so Brittany and Jax are together all the goddamn time. Okay, all the time. They have a new apartment. This is not the apartment that they lived in next to Schwartz and Katie. This is a different apartment complex. They ended up having to move at the end of this season, season 5. We find out at the reunion that they ended up having to move because Jax was an asshole and started like screaming at the apartment people because there was flooding from their air conditioner. And so Brittany tried to talk him off the ledge. She basically said, screw you, we're leaving, we're out of here, fuck you guys. And basically like made them leave to, I don't know, show he's a badass or something. I don't know. Jax is an animal. He's crazy. All right. Sheena and Katie are still very, very close as of the first episode. After that, it's kind of a shitstorm. They start off with an OK magazine party. This is where we kind of start the era of the magazine party. Like we kind of saw that a little bit last season when Stassi was trying to like tiptoe her way back into the friend group. This is like the era of the D-list pop culture magazine era parties. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Carter and Kristen are still together. They've been together a total of 10 months. We find out that Carter is now a photographer and that he contributes. He's everything. He's the best. We have the best sex. We have the best life. Oh my God, he's amazing. He's wonderful. He's nothing like Tom. He's nothing like James. Basically what Kristen does is when she gets a new boyfriend, she just decides that the new boyfriend is the ultimate upgrade from the 2 other hack jobs that she dated before. And when she eventually breaks up with Carter, the next boyfriend better, the next boyfriend better, like has a bigger D, is better in bed, is sweeter, is kinder, is nicer, takes like blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. She said the same thing about James. I'm sure she said the same thing about Tom. It's always the same BS every single time Kristen talks about it. Lala has been supposedly modeling, and this is the season where I believe we start getting the story of Randall and dating a married man. And Lala can't keep her story straight at this point. Lala's all over the place. I'm with a married man, I'm not with a married man. Who the hell knows, okay? But what apparently we find out later, though, is she was dating a married man, and his name was Randall. So James has been DJing at Sir and Pump, and he's been kind of like on and off-ish sober. And he's also now has a new girlfriend, which is Raquel, whatever the hell we're going to call her. I'll probably change her name 70 times in this video. But Raquel is his girlfriend. And we kind of talk about her. And this is when we first really meet her. And let me tell you right now, it's a shell shocker. It's a punch to the face, let me tell you. So we start the season off with Jax spreading a rumor and it kind of going all over the restaurant, and he is public enemy number 1 to Brittany. Okay. Brittany is not happy. Brittany's very upset. Okay. So allegedly, I don't know. I kind of believe, but allegedly, Kristen and Brittany were drunk, hammered out of their minds, again, allegedly. And when they were drunk and hammered and going crazy, Jackson, Brittany, Kristen, and Carter came back to Jackson Brittany's apartment. Kristen and Brittany were making out with each other. They went to go lay in the bed, I guess like butt naked or something. And then Kristen allegedly went down on Brittany. And as Lisa Vanderpump coins it, hung out with her Kentucky muffin. Okay. And everybody, Jax is like convinced that this happened. He's like, no, this did happen. You can't convince me otherwise. It 1000% happened. Like, I'm going to tell everybody. If Jax has a story to tell, he's telling everybody. He's going to tell the mailman. He's going to tell the trash guy, okay, down the street. He's going to tell random pedestrians. He's going to go to a homeless encampment and make sure they all understand and know that. That is Jax Taylor. He's a crazy person, okay? The fact that he can keep any secrets is fully beyond me. And he just waits for the final moment where he can get away with certain things. Again, he's a psychopathic human being. And we find out later, apparently, an alleged sociopath. Stassi is on and off with Patrick, and that is essentially her storyline the whole season. And she's on and off with Patrick, how she kind of feels about that, how she kind of feels out of place with the group because everybody's either married, engaged, or like with their person and like happy and all that stuff. And she's alone, and she kind of still feels like a little bit of like, I don't even know if the best way to put it is an outsider, but she just feels different in the group because she's not like, it's not all about her. Like this is the first season where it really isn't all about Stassi and she's not kind of like the head bitch in charge. It kind of is Katie, shockingly enough. And then she's decided that she's going to move full time to LA. And this is where we get her kind of like first nice apartment. And so she's kind of like enjoying her single life, but also hating it at the same time. Like her and Patrick literally have broken up like 700 times and she is just miserable, thinks he's amazing. And what's hilarious to me is that we eventually do meet Patrick. And in my opinion, Patrick is one of the worst boyfriends ever on this show. There's nothing redeemable about him. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. He is a slime ball. He is like the ultimate disgusting, narcissistic fuckboy. He's the worst. He's horrible. And for her to be, and she says on and off all the time, like, my friends love him, my family loves him, they think he's so amazing. Like, oh, what am I doing? This is all my fault. Oh, no, honey. This man is a demon straight from the pits of hell. He is disgusting. He is a disgusting person. And the fact that she even thought for a second, a millisecond, that man was good for her, oh my God, he is the worst. And the thing is I genuinely think that he is the worst because at least with like Jax, he was like entertaining. Like he's a fucking loser. It's funny to make fun of him. Like he's just a wreck. Okay. He was just a wreck, but he had like these redeemable qualities. He's just, I don't know, like there's something about him or whatever. Patrick, zero redeeming qualities. He is a loser. Okay. And then the big story of the whole season is obviously Tom and Katie's wedding and the lead up to that. I'm not joking, you guys. I think they maybe planned this wedding in the span of 4 months. Like I'm not even kidding you. It is the fastest wedding that was ever created in the entire world. They were like bam, 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 bam. The second Katie got a ring on her finger, she was calling venues. She was calling venues in the parking lot. She was like, hi, hello, can I have a wedding? I need to get him tied down as immediately as possible. And you guys, if you have not seen Vanderpump Rules, I am going to give you some tea. Okay, if you have not watched the whole show, be careful because I will be talking about future season things that we find out later on that are crazy to think about right now in season 5. Okay, so Schwartz is having a lot of issues with Katie still being friends with Stassi and Kristen and having that dynamic kind of back in the group / kind of Sheena. But he references them at, like, they kind of joke around and call each other the witches of WeHo, the 3 of them. So if you ever hear me talking about, like, the 3 of them, I'm talking about the witches of WeHo. So the witches of WeHo are, like, back and thriving and whatever, but they're constantly drinking. They're constantly at Schwartz and Katie's apartment, which also, if the Bubba art, this is when the Bubba art happened. And if you know, the OGs know that Mr. Kate, the ginormous house renovation styling YouTube channel, okay? They're the ones that did the Bubba art, okay? So if you want to blame anybody, blame Mr. Kate, okay? And so Schwartz is just in this never-ending battle of making Katie just feel like a piece of shit at all times this season. It was just Katie is the worst. Katie's a drunk. Katie's a bitch. Like everything was Katie's the problem. And I have lots of thoughts and opinions on that because, like, listen, I'm not denying the fact that Katie sucked at times, but I just feel like the way that Schwartz talks about it, he acts like it came from nowhere. And like, this is something that she's just randomly being a bitch. And I just feel like there's a lot of buildup as to why she's behaving that way and why she's continued to behave that way for a while, especially in the past too. But Schwartz just wants to chalk it up to like, she's an alcoholic, she sucks, she's the worst. And I just don't think it's that simple. But that's just me. That's just me. Again, what we know now, that's just me, okay? Kristen goes back and forth on whether or not she did or did not go down on Brittany. Now listen, she tells us that she kind of knows, but she doesn't kind of know, but she thinks maybe, but no, there's no way. And yeah, we maybe made out, and yeah, we maybe didn't have our clothes on, but like whatever, like it's not a big deal. Like, so like, no, we didn't do it. They 1000% did that. In my opinion, allegedly in Minecraft. That's just my opinion though. But I think that my opinion is correct. Just saying. Lala and James are now besties. They're trying to make music together in the stew. They're trying to get some jams down, okay? Because they're going to be famous, going to play at Coachella, which is, again, crazy. crazy that James said every single season he's going to play at Coachella. I'm going to play at Coachella. And not only did he play at Coachella, he played for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. You guys, that's crazy. That is crazy. This man has manifested, like, everybody was like, oh no, he won't be able to get to where he wants to do. He won't be able to do what he wants. He's a drunk. He's a this, he's a that. I don't know what it is, guys. White man privilege, but the twink did it. Okay, he did it. Lala and James show up to said OK magazine, okay? And they are hammered or high or something. They're doing something, okay? They're not just like tiptoeing through the tulips, okay? So they show up to the party and everybody's together in their little corner, having their drinks, having their good little time, having conversations, talking about, Brittany and Kristen doing it. And they show up and they are drunk and hammered and they just want to make a mess. And then they start making jokes about the girls being fat and not, oh, I see we aren't working on our summer bodies this summer. Like, so nasty and so rude, okay? Absolutely horrible. So they are miserable and they just want to say the nastiest things humanly possible. And of course, Katie's pissed off and upset because this keeps happening and Lala keeps behaving this way, and not just like on the show. Lala's behaving this way online as well and perpetuating a lot of fucked up stuff, saying a lot of horrible things about Katie and her relationship with Tom, and is aiming everything at Katie, of course, and is just trying to like ruin Katie's life, essentially. Like, that is what is happening. Whether you are on Team Katie or not, Lala was doing those things. Like, it just was what it was. And so Katie is very, very, very upset, and they're like, get away, please leave us alone, like, shut the fuck up, like, what are you doing? And James decides to take it upon himself to pour himself a drink, and then he proceeds to essentially jerk himself, and then the water, the beverage, was it water, the alcohol beverage, out of the cup onto the table. And Sheena starts losing her mind. Everybody starts getting pissed off. James starts saying stupid profanities. Jax wants to go run up and hit him and punch him and like end his life essentially, but he can't do that because he's on parole from the whole sunglasses thing that happened in, what was it, Mexico or something like that. So he can't be, punching people. Oh, no, Hawaii, sorry. He can't be punching people or doing anything like that. So, everybody's like, don't, Jax, don't. Brittany's like, don't do it, Jax. You're on parole, stop. And he's like, God, I'm gonna get him. And everybody separates, and then Tom Sandoval and Ariana and try to figure out what the hell's going on with the two of them. Of course, Katie and Stassi are like, that's your friends. That's your friends. That's who you want to be friends with. That says a lot about you, okay? Like that vibe or whatever. And so Schwartz thinks that Katie has started kind of backsliding with the girls, with the drinking and all that. And like, that's kind of why the issues with Lala are essentially happening, when we now know that that's just like, Tom is the problem. Like, at the core of Katie's issues, Schwartz is the issue. It's not Lala. It's not anybody else. It's Schwartz. He is a shitty boyfriend, a shitty fiance, and an even shittier husband. And that's just what it is. Like, whatever you want to say to that, I don't know. But that is the facts, Jack. That's the facts, okay? And James tries to start a fight. So Sandoval brings him off to the side and is trying to like get James to admit like that something's going on. Like, it's not just drinking and him making bad choices. Like, he's clearly going through it. And James admits that he's having a really hard time. And he's having a really hard time trying to move on with the situation with his parents getting divorced. It really hurt him. I will say this about James, and I think I've said this in previous videos. Out of all the cast members, I truly think James is the most vulnerable cast member on this show. He has given us so much. He has gone through such a massive journey. Again, whether he's this, villain or he's the hero, I don't know. That's up to you guys to decide. But in general, his evolution is wild to me. Like, from where he started out, like season 4 or whatever, 3 or 4, to now is crazy. The family relationships that he showed us, the relationships that he's shown us, his heartaches, his alcoholism, like he's showed us a lot. And this situation with his mom and his dad really is kind of the starting point. I think Kristen was the catalyst, to be honest with you, his relationship with Kristen, but what do I know, is kind of the catalyst to the alcoholism and also the catalyst to his questionable relationship with his mom and his mom's understanding and vulnerability in her sober journey as well. Like that whole dynamic is so interesting too, and we learn more about that seasons to come as well. So Katie is very much on a journey of, I'm going to spread these rumors about Lala and I'm going to keep investigating them until I get what I want, because she's treating me like shit, so I'm going to ruin her life, essentially. Is like Katie. Katie's just one of those people that if you're going to be a piece of shit, she's going to just go for the jugular. And I'm not going to lie, I'm the Katie in the group, okay? Oh, okay. Like as long as you leave me the hell alone, I'll leave you the hell alone. But if you want to keep jabbing at me and coming at me, you're not going to like it, because I'm going to go for your jugular. Okay. I'm going to go for the deep, dark shit. Leave me alone. And that's kind of Katie. Katie's one of those people that, like, if you just leave her alone, she's good. She's fine. She's happy. She's free and dandy. If you get up in her shit and piss her off, she's not going to just be like, fuck you, get out of here. No, she's going to find the one thing that you're the most insecure about, that you're most pissed off about, that you're struggling the most with, and she's going to dig that into your face. That's just how Katie is, unfortunately. And with Katie, her thing is, I'm going to figure out more about this married man that Lala is with. And allegedly they keep referencing that, like, they know Randall's wife, which is we now know is Amber. And so I'd be interested to learn, and I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I would be interested to know how they knew Amber, because they keep saying, like, they have mutual friends, like, we know who his wife is, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, how do you guys know all that? How do you guys know that dynamic? Like, I would be very interested to get more info on that. Maybe one day I'll get to interview these wonderful women and figure this out, okay? Probably not. Ariana takes Lala aside and is like, what is going on? Like, you don't need to be like this. Like, what is going on? And Lala kind of breaks down and she's like, I'm over it. I'm tired. Like, I can't do this anymore. They've broken me, essentially. Like, they want to ruin my life. And that's really rough. And Ariana sticks up for her, honestly, sticks up for her multiple times this season, to the point that it's so bluntly obvious that Lala is a shit friend and Ariana is a great friend. And it just is hilarious to see now in current time how Ariana continued to be a good friend. Wasn't the one thing about Ariana, season after season after season, she was never with the popular vote, almost ever. She always sided with who she wanted to side with, who she wanted to be around. And the crazy thing is that I love about her is she is so articulate, and she was able to always say why she was choosing those options, why she was that way. It wasn't just like random, like, I picked this person because that. No, there was reasoning as to why she chose people's certain sides at the time. And Lala, she's always been there for Lala. So it's just crazy to me that Lala has the audacity to current day to consistently talk shit on Ariana, when all there is just proof after proof after proof, show after show after show, that Ariana was such a good friend to her. Jackson, Brittany, no, we don't need that part. That's fine. Lala's kind of constantly digging at these girls and talking about really shitty things in their relationships, and always calling them old too, which is so funny because they're not that much older than Lala. I think they're like maybe 2 years older than her, like Sheena and Ariana and Katie. And I think even like Stassi, I think, is 2 years younger than her. 2 years older than her. And then I think the rest of them are 4. So it's like, they're not old. What are you talking about? It's so weird that she keeps saying that. And she also says that, like, Sheena's relationship is a bunch of bullshit. And the reason why she married Shay is because Shay basically never talks. And so Sheena can always constantly be talking about herself, and she's up her own ass, which she is. We have lots of thoughts about her and Shay's relationship. And Lala apparently called Katie a blob, and Lala and James call them old. And we find out that Lala goes on like Twitter at the time, and Snapchat is a huge part of this season for some reason. Like the girlies were loving Snapchat in this time frame. It's all Sheena talks about, to be honest with you. But we find out later that like that Lala was going on social media and talking about Schwartz's penis and how big it is and how they're gonna hook up together, and that like when Katie and Schwartz get divorced, because they're going to, that she's gonna find a friend to hook up with Schwartz who's not like, you know, an asshole. It's a whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, the blob comment was hilarious to me. All right, so episode 2. So we have the Yulin dog charity. Jax continues to spread this rumor about Brittany and Kristen, and it really pisses Brittany off very much, and they get in a fight over it. James goes on an apology tour because Lisa said he's being a little bitch and is backsliding, which is 1000% true is what's happening. We meet Lala's mom, and she really wants Lala to stop drinking, and she really wants Lala to kind of start showing who she really is instead of being this like angry person all the time. And like even Lala admits like that she's just constantly fighting and constantly angry, and she isn't this person, and she's very defensive. And it's like, oh, you know, when I was bullied, you know, all like her mom was like, well, you know, it's probably from when you were bullied in high school. Now here's the thing, guys, I'm gonna say something, okay, and you guys can take it or leave it, and that's okay. You don't have to like everything that I say. It's totally fine. I'm okay with that, okay? But here's my opinion, okay? At some point, we have to stop using excuses from our childhood for our shitty behavior as adults, okay? Yes, being bullied as a child is absolutely horrible. Yes, it can be traumatizing. It can be absolutely horrendous. I personally know I was bullied when I was in high school, and it made me want to, at times, consider unaliving myself, okay? I'm fully aware of how that works, okay? But at some point, we do, and this is in the general sense, I'm not talking about crazy messed up shit, okay? I'm talking just about high school bullies that are assholes and stupid and make fun of you and say names and dumb shit like that. I'm not talking about abuse, okay? I'm talking about just high school stupid ass bullies, okay? At some point, you do have to stop using that as the excuse as to why you're an asshole. You have to grow up a little bit, and you have to change, and you have to become better. And when people treat you like shit, you need to move along and just not be a part of it. I've said this so many times about reality TV stars. You sit there and you bitch and complain about how you don't like this environment. You're pissed off that you're with these people. You don't like having these people in your life. You're over it, you're over it, you're over it. And yet you keep coming back to the reality TV show. Now, I am fully aware that there's money involved, obviously, a good chunk of money. Not always, at this point, I don't think they were making that much money, but still. There's money involved, there's fame involved, there's gifts and all this attention. And I know that that can be so like juicy and wonderful, and you want it so bad, okay? But she had no children. She had a boyfriend that could apparently pay for everything. She had nothing else going on. She allegedly was a model and all these things. She didn't have to be on this show. She could have not been on the show and apparently been living fine and dandy, okay? She continued to choose to keep being on the show and keeping with these people that pissed her off and made her feel like shit. And at some point, Lala just always has an excuse for her bad behavior. And it's like, well, how about you just stop having bad behavior? How about you just stop being an asshole? How about you just start opening up a little bit? Or get off of the show. If you don't like how you are, if you don't like your behavior, you don't like the way you're coming across, get off the show, Linda. Like, get off the show. At some point, you have to be an adult. At what point are we just going to stop using our childhood bad experiences? I don't want to say trauma. I want to say, because that's a little bit higher on the totem pole there. But childhood issues and continuing to use them as an excuse for our bad adult behavior. At some point, you have to break the cycle, as they say, okay? Break the old cycle. and you being an asshole. And regardless of Katie and what Katie was saying and doing, Lala was an asshole. Okay? Katie was also an asshole, but Lala was an asshole too. And not just to Katie. Lala was an asshole to everybody in her path on that show. Everybody on her path. Some rightfully so, some not rightfully so. And I just, Lala, I struggle with Lala. I struggle very much. And I used to be the biggest fan of her. But man, oh man, I struggle bus. So Brittany is very upset with Jax, and Jax will not apologize. And at times will literally gaslight Brittany about the situation. Like, it's not a big deal, Brittany. Like, get over it. Like, whatever. It's done and over with. I said it. Like, it's done. Like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, what do you want me to do? You're spreading a nasty rumor about me, about our friends. She's like, it's one thing for him to spread rumors about other people, which I find hilarious. She's kind of like, whatever, it's Jax, he's an idiot. But she's like, to spread a rumor about me is gross. And literally, Jax is just standing at the bar telling anybody that passes by. Okay? Someone's asking for a, sangria, and he's like, cool, I'll get you one. But did you also know that my girlfriend and my hookup chick that I was hooking up with, that in my opinion more than twice, were doing the nasty in my bed? Did you know that? I thought I'd like to tell you. Also, here's your sangria. That's Jax. He's a psychopath. He's a crazy person. So Brittany gets upset and she's like, I'm staying at Sheena's. Sheena's like, come on over. Like, you can totally come over. It's like no big deal. Like, it's great. Like, come on over, hang out. Like, not a big deal. So Brittany stays over at Sheena and Shay's, and I love Sheena and Shay's house so unbelievably much. That home doesn't get enough credit. Okay, when Sheena and Shay were together and they had that apartment together, and all the canvases, okay, like the Walmart photo center canvases that were all over their apartment, was just incredible. Like, the aesthetic was so bad that it was camp. It was good. Okay, that's how crazy I loved her apartments. Okay, she has 2 massive canvases of her and Shay above her bed. Like, she don't give a shit. She's like, the world revolves around me. Don't you understand that? We're just living in Sheena Shay's world. Okay, we're just living in Sheena Marie now, I believe. Sheena Marie's world. Okay. So Brittany comes back to the apartment and gets in like a screaming match with Jax, and he is like, you and Brittany definitely did this. I know this for a fact. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is what happens. He's half asleep. He's groggy. He's so pissed the fuck off. He's just screaming at her. She's screaming at him. And they just cannot come to like a consensus about what happened. And then eventually he just is just like, fuck it. I'm done. We're not talking about this anymore. And it's like, we're not going to talk about it. But if somebody brings it up, I'm going to say what I want. That's Jax. He's like, I'm not going to bring it up. I won't say anything. But if somebody else brings it up, what am I supposed to do? Close my mouth? No, that's never going to happen. Katie and Schwartz go over the cost of their wedding, and Schwartz really wants to spend a total of $10,000, which is like, that can happen. It's just, you're going to get what you get with $10,000. And Katie's like, that's never going to happen. You're a psychopath if you think that's going to happen. And Katie wants like a wedding. She doesn't want, to go down to City Hall or like to have a backyard barbecue. Like, she wants a wedding, like, event. Okay. And just the venue alone that they choose, which is a really pretty venue, and we'll talk about it, $8,000 just for the venue. We get the actual numbers at the end there about everything, but like the venue just to be on the property, nothing added to it, $8,000. That's a lot of money. That's not nothing. Schwartz, they also have the wedding on a Wednesday, which is so funny, to get like a discount. I'm like, wedding on a Wednesday? What's going on? But actually, funny enough, they mentioned it later in the show. It actually works out great for them because they all work in the restaurant business. Like, almost all of their friends work in the restaurant business. So to have a party on the weekend actually was a bad idea. To have one on a Wednesday worked out for all of them. Smart for once in their goddamn life. Schwartz wants to get a prenup, and Katie agrees, but also kind of laughs at Schwartz, like, why do we need to get a prenup? We literally have nothing. Like, everybody thought it was the funniest thing ever, but now looking back, it was a great thing because their divorce was done very, very, very quick. It was like the California 6 months, like boom, 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 done. And I'm going to assume that had to do because they had a prenup, and it was just black and white. This is what we get. This is what you get. You get everything that you made. I get everything that I made. We sell the house and have a great day. I don't know why Sandoval can't do that with Ariana, but holding on tight, I guess. James, we find out, is living in the living room of some guy's penthouse. And it's the vibes is giving me older gay gentleman, okay? That's where he's living. And he lives in the living room, okay? He has a couch. He has like a nice little wall piece that he can like shuffle and move. And then he has a mattress, a bed, okay? And he's got his DJ equipment. He's ready to DJ waka waka at any time, okay? He's ready to DJ on the balcony if he needs to, okay? James and Lala might make more music together. James is DJing at the Yulin Dog Festival. He tries to apologize to Katie. Katie denies him and basically says that you're a bad person and I don't accept this apology because I don't think you're going to change. He doesn't change for a while, so Katie wasn't wrong. Katie's been right for a while. We also find out that James got into a fight at Pump. So James apparently was smoking outside of Pump at one of the fire pits, and James and his friend were kind of going back at each other. And then at one point, through all the yapping, his friend swings on him and then puts James in a headlock, and James and his friend just like start going at each other. And James's excuse for it was basically like, he's jealous. Everybody's jealous of me. Okay, I'm a DJ. Everybody's jealous of me. I'm James. I'm the white Kanye. Everybody is jealous of James Kennedy. Okay, get it right. And basically, you know, tells everybody that they're pieces of shit and whatever. And Lisa Vanderpump's like, well, I got to look into it to see if like you were the cause of the problem or if your friend was. And we come to find out that James actually wasn't the problem. His friend started everything. So according to Vanderpump, that's enough of an excuse to keep James as a DJ. Whatever. DJ James Kennedy is DJing at that Yulin little dog festival, whatever, World Dog Day shit. And it's funny because he keeps saying like, I'm a DJ, I'm the best DJ ever, like whatever. But at the same time, he's over here being like, could anybody, somebody must say keys. If you have a Toyota, please come get your keys. And it's just, the juxtaposition is so funny. And so I'm assuming very validating for Mr. Jax Taylor. Everyone meets up after, and Kristen decides to confront Jax about spreading rumors about the Kentucky Muffin situation and that he has to stop. And she is convinced, and she's right, that Jax is on this cycle now where he is going to essentially Jax Brittany, which he kind of does, spoiler alert, multiple times, I guess, but that he's basically on purpose trying to sabotage his relationship with Brittany. He is determined to ruin that relationship. And Kristen and even everybody, not just Kristen, everybody is like, the dumbest thing you could do is break up with this woman. She is the best thing that will ever happen to you. And if you don't see that, you're literally nuts. And honestly, she is. She loves to drink. Borderline. I think she might be a little bit of an alcoholic. Okay. She loves to do the dirty. It's totally fine with, it's totally fine. It's totally fine with Jax like sucking her dirty feet. Like they're literally made for each other. But he's gonna ruin it multiple times in their relationship. Episode 3, Katie asks all the girls except for Ariana to be a bridesmaid. Katie is just kind of like, nope, I don't want Ariana being a part of it. Clearly Ariana is friends with Lala. I don't like that, so screw her. She's not gonna be a bridesmaid. Schwartz makes that even more difficult. Stassi and Kristen both want to be maids of honor, but I guess like I don't think that happened. I don't think they got to be maid of honor. I think the only reason why Stassi was first in the wedding lineup, like behind Katie, is because Kristen didn't want to walk with Schwartz because walk with Sandoval for obvious fucking reasons. So essentially like the maid of honor and the best man were Sandoval and Stassi. But Kristen is like, watch this bit. Like, Kristen wants to be the maid of honor at everybody's wedding. At my wedding, she tried to show up. You know what I'm saying? She didn't. I'm lying. Lisa does a little investigation and, like I said, finds out that James wasn't at fault at the fight at Pump. Again, it's stupid. Like, the excuses that she makes for him is really, really weird. But the excuses she makes for all the men on the show are fucking stupid and weird. Schwartz has Jax and Sandoval over to ask them to be groomsmen. He makes them dinner and he pranks them by essentially making the dinner for them. It's like a surf and turf situation, okay? But then he decides to put said surf and turf in between his butt cheeks and then serve it to his buddies here. And then what happens is he's like, oh, eat this beautiful dinner. And after you eat this dinner, I'm going to give you a surprise, blah, blah, blah. Well, surprise, bitch. Here's a photo in a manila envelope, okay? Like we're on, Law and Order SVU. And guess what, motherfuckers? I put your food in between my cheeks and you just ate ass ass meat, okay? Ass shrimp. I hope you like it. And they're like, oh, bro, crazy. The sexual innuendos between these three men, okay? The gay vibes that are happening. These three have 1000% touched each other's peepees. You cannot convince me otherwise. How and where and with what? Don't know. But they've definitely touched each other's peepees. 1000. I am so confident in that, in my opinion, that is definitely happened, in my opinion, in Minecraft, okay? Stassi and Patrick break up for the 700th time. Katie is doing tea towels as her wedding invites, which in total, the tea towels cost $2,775. What? That is crazy, okay? One thing I will never understand about this whole like wedding lifestyle, like this wedding thing. First of all, wedding corporate America is a scam. It's an MLM, okay? Look out, be afraid, okay? It's scary in these streets, okay? Funerals and weddings, complete fucking scams, okay? The amount of things that they want you to do, half of it you don't even need to do. And this is one of them, okay? So they have like the wedding, like, hey, we're having one. Just wanted to give you the heads up and here's the date. And then they have the actual like invitation, all right? That like you check off what you want to eat and like you're going or you're not going. So they can get like an itemized idea of what everybody's doing. You don't need to do both. Just pick one. Okay, just do the full invitation. That's it. You don't need the tea towel situation before that. Everybody does something, the beforehand stuff. I don't understand. It's such a waste of money and people don't have money. Also, who's paying for this wedding? Give me my money. Like, who's paying for this wedding? Okay, who was paying for this wedding? I have questions. I have thoughts. I have opinions. Okay. Lala tries to apologize to Sheena at the restaurant and like goes up to her at the bar. Katie sees it and Katie, of course, blows up about it later. But Sheena will not accept the apology and says that I'm not going to accept this apology until you and Katie talk. When you and Katie talk and you apologize to Katie, that's when I'll accept your apology. Which I was like, wow, Sheena being a good friend, crazy. Also, I think they're all scared of Katie. Everybody says that they're scared of that they're scared of like Stassi or they're scared of Kristen. No, honey. No. Be scared of Katie. Katie's the threat in the group. Okay, she's a silent killer. All right. Katie and the Witches of WeHo are obsessed with finding out more about Lala's man who's married. The girls have mutual friends and they know the ex-wife, which we've totally talked about. Lala brings Katie outside in the very famous streets, the Vanderpump streets, the back alleys of Sir. Okay, and tries to apologize to Katie, and Katie cannot get over the fact that Lala posted online about how she wanted to do Schwartz's PP size, and that they're going to get divorced and break up, and she can't get over that. And you know what? I don't blame her, because I could understand why Katie would think that after this apology that nothing's probably going to change. Lala is still going to be an asshole to her. I could see where Katie thought that. I could also see where Katie could have just apologized, like just said, yeah, you know what, I'm sorry too. Let's just move on and move forward. But you know, would that make good drama for a TV show? No, it wouldn't, you guys. And you know it. I know it. We all know it, okay? Katie does not accept this apology and tries to get Lala to admit to dating the married man. Lala's not going to do that. The last thing Lala's going to do is admit that she's dating a married man. She doesn't admit it, I don't think, honestly, until maybe, I could be wrong. Fact check me down below in the comment section. I literally don't think she admits to the fact that she was with Randall while he was married to Amber still. I'm not joking you. I think until season 10, when she's at Lisa Vanderpump's house and Lisa's like basically like blaming Lala for everything that happened with Randall. And it's like, shut up. I have to remind myself all the time to not blame women. So when I'm talking about like Lala and Katie, it's really hard for me to hate on the women in the group, because at the end of the day, I want to make this very clear. The men are the problem in this group, not the women. No matter how pick me, annoying, bitchy, angry pieces of shit these women can be at times, they, at the end of the day, were never the problem. It was Tom, Jax. It was all the men on this show. They were always the problem. They were the catalyst to a lot of shit. They started a lot of crap. They emotionally tortured these women on a daily fucking basis. behind the scenes, as we know, obviously with Sandoval and Ariana, but also in front of the fucking camera, okay? So no matter what I say about these women, just please always have in the back of your mind that at the end of the day, the men are the worst and the women are not. Just please always keep that in mind when I'm talking about this show, okay? Sheena says her and Shay are doing so great. They're the best ever. He stopped drinking. He's making music in the studio and everything's really going great. But she like never sees him. He's never at anything for good reasons, to be honest with you, once we talk about that more later. Jack says at the bachelor party, he wants to have, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word on the internet. A transvestite. He wants to have transvestites there and he wants to have like drag queens and he keeps saying that they're the same thing. So trans people, just in case no one knows, I highly doubt anybody who watched my videos doesn't know this, but just so we're all aware, a trans person and a drag queen are not the same thing. That's half the fucking issue that these people have on a daily basis, okay? Drag, okay, is like an optical illusion. Being trans is not, okay? We're not playing dress up. We're not having fun and taking off our makeup at the end of the day and we're back to being we're back to being our original human being. No. Okay. Katie talks to Stassi and Kristen in her bedroom. She is hammered out of her fucking mind, might I add, and talks about the whole conversation with Lala. And Katie's a little upset about Sheena like literally, I think Katie is just mad that Sheena even breathed, okay, near Lala. Even like whispered a breath near Lala. That's where kind of Katie's at right now. Like, doesn't matter what happened. If you were even in the same room as Lala, Katie fucking hates your guts. Katie also hates liars. And by liars, she hates Schwartz. Like, she hates Schwartz. Schwartz is a fucking asshole. And she hates him. That's what it all comes down to. Schwartz is a piece of shit, is a constant liar, and all of that bleeds into everybody else in her life. That's how Katie kind of just operates and is, you know? Sheena tries hard to justify to Ariana why she can't trust Lala. And, you know, it makes sense, but it's just like a bitchy thing. Like, it's like, it does make sense what Sheena's saying and all the girls kind of say, like the whole concept of like, if she's lying about this, what else is she lying about? That kind of thing. And I get that. I really do get that. But that's not the intention the women are coming at. They just want to be mean to another woman. That's all that is. That's all it is. The witches of WeHo have Sheena come talk and they're slowly like kind of turning on her. And Katie is, again, hammered and very, very mad at Sheena for talking to Lala at the bar, even though at that moment, Sheena was defending Katie. And Katie eventually starts making, like, they all start kind of like making shit up that didn't happen with Sheena and Lala. And it's so crazy to me because they keep saying like, oh, you wanted, you know, Lala and Katie to be friends, and it's like, that never happened. And listen, I'm not always team Sheena. Sheena's a little wackadoodle, always causing drama, but in this situation, she really did have like Katie's back, like 99% of the time. And it's just so crazy to me that the women, when they got drunk, would just make things up that did not happen. Lala and Katie were never going to be friends, and Sheena was okay with that. She just wanted everybody to be cordial so that way they could move on with their lives. And Katie was just not, and especially when Katie's drunk, she's not having that. Holy moly, is she not having that. Episode 4, okay? Ariana's brother, Jeremy, is moved in with Ariana and Sandoval. Ariana and Sandoval's sex life has gone downhill from like 3 times like a week to like every other month, essentially. And this is when I went, ding dong. Now I'm wondering if this is the time frame where he cheated again, because we know he cheated with Miami girl. We obviously know, so that's like the beginning of the cheating timeline, okay? And we know at the end of the cheating timeline, it's Rachel. But somewhere in the middle, we now currently know there's somebody else in the middle that had happened. I think there was way more than that, but we fact check know from Sandoval's mouth, there were 3 people that he cheated on Ariana with, okay? And there's somebody in the middle. And I think it started this time frame. So if anybody wants to try to figure out who the hell that girl is, I don't think that it's, what's her face, Billie Lee. I don't think it was actually Billie Lee. At least not this person that he talked about. Maybe he did, but at least the person that he was talking about in the season finale of season 10, I don't think it was Billie Lee. I think it's somebody else. And so I personally think whoever he cheated on her with is around this time frame, because this is when their sex life started going to shit and when a lot of things were changing and Ariana was kind of trying to come into herself and their dynamic changed a lot. And the pretty glitter of a new relationship started to kind of wear off, okay? And so I just feel like this might have been when he cheated on her for the second confirmed time, okay? We meet James's girlfriend, Raquel. It's crazy to me that we've known, I literally, in my brain, for whatever reason, thought that she showed up in like season 8, season 9. Nope, this bitch has been around since season 5. You guys, she has been around for 5 seasons of Vanderpump Rules. Technically 6 if you really think about it, because season 11 they talked about her. She just wasn't physically there, okay? But this girl has existed in the Bravo cinematic universe for 6 seasons, essentially. That's wild. I did not think that in any way, shape, or form. Did not think that was a real thing. Didn't think that was happening. Could not believe that. Couldn't believe that we've known this chick since season 5. Wild to me. So we know that Rachel came to a New Year's Eve party that James was DJing at, and that that's how they met, and that she's a pageant girl and she's a senior in college and she's working with autistic children. Was that what she was working with? To work with children with special needs. Is that appropriate to say? Is special need? Can someone comment below if special needs is the politically correct way to talk about someone who has disability, like learning disabilities? I'd love to know that, because growing up, that's what we always said. Like, they're in the special needs wing, or this child's a special needs children, or they're in like a special needs classroom. Like, like, is that politically correct? I don't know if it is. What if not? If someone could educate me and tell me what I should be saying, I would love to know, because like my child is, in my opinion, from what I've been saying, special needs. Like, he has a special needs teacher. He has, he's in a special classroom, all that stuff. But if that's not appropriate to say, I would love to know that. So if, want to fact check me on that, I would really actually appreciate it if you wanted to comment below what's the more appropriate way to talk about children that have learning disabilities, and what's like the group, what is their group called, I guess. I guess that's the best way to put it. I think that Katie has a lot of anger that really only comes from Schwartz. Like, I think a majority of her frustrations, her anger, her insecurities stem from Schwartz. And then she can't get anywhere with him, so it kind of just like spider webs out, and she gives this shit to everybody else. Like, that's the consensus that I have about Miss Katie Maloney, is that a lot of this vile behavior is from Schwartz, and then just spider veins out to everybody else in hopes that she can kind of get that fix from somebody else, because clearly Schwartz isn't going to change. He's a fucking loser. And he's a massive gaslighter to Katie too. Like, he gaslights the absolute shit out of her. And because Katie at the time, I've said this so many times about this show, that I think the reason why a lot of people were not on Katie's side back when this show originally aired is because we were all the same age as Katie. We were like in our mid-20s, whatever. And, or younger, honestly. They're 39, I'm 34. Okay, so we were 5 years apart. So like when I was watching the show, I was like 21, 22, okay? And when you're 21 and 22 and, you're, as a millennial, I don't think like we were very woke yet, okay? We weren't like girl power like we are now. And so back then I was like, oh, Katie's a bitch, she sucks, whatever. And then like now as an adult woman who fully understands how men are pieces of garbage, you're like, oh crap, like she was gaslit a lot of the time about how she was. And I just feel like Schwartz is a massive trigger for Katie. And when he sets her off, that sets her off to other people around them, to other situations. And the negativity just never stops and kind of never ends for Miss Katie Maloney. Katie Maloney. Oh my God. Sheena tells Lala she can't talk to her anymore because Katie and the Witches of WeHo are not proud of Sheena and like are not happy with Sheena. And when Sheena tells the girls that, they're very proud of her. They're like, oh, wow, Sheena, finally, thank you, thank you. But it also feeds into the cult mentality that the three of them have. Diana tells Lisa that Diana is one of the managers. Remember, like, suck a dick? That's Diana. Diana tells Lisa that James has been getting drunk and screaming and unplugging the music mid DJ session and just leaving Sir and being like, deuces, see you later. And Lisa says that she needs definitive proof in order to fire James for his behavior. And it's like, what are you talking about? Definitive proof? That doesn't make any sense. We later find out, like, I think through the reunion, and I'm not going to recap the whole reunion because there was maybe 5 things in it that, like, were brand new to what we already watched and what was already being recapped. But essentially, like, a big reason why Lisa said that she didn't fire James is because of all the stuff he was going through with his parents' divorce. And that was, like, really, really hard for him. And she didn't kind of want to, like, kick a horse when they're down kind of situation. Mr. Dr. Brandy, the therapist. Okay, yeah. So Dr. Brandy meets up with Schwartz and they talk about him getting married and how he feels about that. And Schwartz didn't tell Katie that he went to the therapist to go see her. But he keeps saying that Katie goes to the dark side. Like, that's one of his gaslighter catchphrases for her is like, the dark side. You went to the dark side. And Katie doesn't, like, feel validated and supported. Like, I think what's crazy to me is that a lot of men think that we want you to have the same opinion as us. And that's not what I want. I'm okay I'm okay that you have a different opinion than me. I just want you to hear me out and validate what I'm saying. And then you can kind of, like, give your opinion, like, politely. Like, you don't have to be like, yeah, 100%, 1000% agree with you. You can be like, yeah, I see where you're coming from, but, like, kind of this is my perspective on it. Like, that's what he won't do. He will never just listen to her and then just kind of, like, validate her feelings. Like, or validate, like, how she's just, sometimes we just, as women, we don't need your opinions. We just want to bitch about what we want to bitch about so we can move on with our lives. We have to, like, basically, like, word vomit our bullshit out so that way we can go out into the world and be civilized, okay? But she can never do that with him because he's an asshole, okay? And he's a gaslighter. Jax thinks that Kristen, Stassi, and Katie have basically one shared brain, and they kind of are like, yeah, we do, but also, no, we don't. I swear to God, we don't. Schwartz's therapist advised that he talks to Katie and tries to understand why she is so upset and how it could really be fixed. And he epically fails at this. He comes home and he tells her, and she's like happy. She's like, oh wow, like, you're going to therapy? That's so cool. Like, how did that go? Like, what was that? And he just starts mumbling at her. He's just like, oh, well, Bubba, like, Bubba, like, I don't know, Bubba, like, I don't know, like, and tries to, like, spit shit out. And then when she doesn't agree with him and is like, no, that's not how I feel. Nope, I don't think that's what's going on. He is just like, oh, well, never mind. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, okay, like, just stop being so ridiculous, Katie. Like, are you drunk right now? Like, oh my God. You started the conversation, you fucking psychopath. You started the conversation. She had a reaction to it. What do you want? What do you want? He doesn't ask where she is coming from. He doesn't ask for her perspective on anything. He just keeps talking at her and then blames everything on her drinking. And I know Katie is a bad drunk, but, like, my unpopular opinion essentially is that Tequila Katie is, like, a truth teller. Tequila Katie is what's telling us what's actually going on in their relationship versus what is behind the scenes. Like, we find out about Tequila Katie tells us who Schwartz really is and what their relationship truly is. And then when she's not drunk, it's kind of like this, like, it's not that bad. Like, oh yeah, we have stuff to work on, blah, blah, blah. No, girl. You should have never married this man. Should have never married him. And the crazy part is I'll tell you guys later, she had it out. She literally had it out. And I don't know why she didn't fucking take it. She should have taken it. Brittany is doing one of her confessionals, and, like, her top keeps, like, unbuttoning every time she's talking about Jax, and it's so funny. It happens, like, 3 different times. It's just like, la 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 la, pop, 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 every single time. It's so funny. Sheena says that she isn't a pushover, but I do actually agree that Sheena does need to stop being so two-faced when it comes to people that she's talking to. She doesn't do this thing where, like, she wants to see everybody's side of the story. She just will tell whoever's in front of her what they want to hear. But what happens is that ends up contradicting what she's telling the other person. And it just flip-flops all the freaking time. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We meet Gigi, who is a hostess at SUR, and she comes randomly out of nowhere, aka producer plant, to talk to Brittany and Jax at the bar during work, that she confesses that in April, okay, so remember, James started dating Rachel in January. New Year's is when they met and they started dating. Okay. So in April, she confesses that she hooked up with James. Jax gets excited about this because now he's like, oh my God, I can use this Gigi stuff against James. I'm so happy. So Lala confronts James about this rumor with Gigi and and James proceeds to call Gigi a Honda Civic and Raquel is like a Porsche, like a, why would I get a Honda Civic when I have a Porsche? Does that make sense to you? And then decides to call her a bitch slut. He is awful. The things that he says about women on this show, in this particular season, is so disgusting and so vile. Jax confronts James at work, and James, while he's DJing. And so like, this is one of my favorite moments ever between the two of these dum-dums. Okay, so Jax is at the bar, bartending, and James is at his little wicca set. And Jax confronts James at work, and James calls himself a rock star. And Jax is a bartender. I'm a rock star, you're a bartender, okay? Jax says, anybody can push keys on a keyboard, you idiot. It's not even connected to anything. And James says, you need to take an order. More cosmopolitans. Pump titties. One of the best moments between these two dum-dums I've ever watched in my life. I thought that was so funny. Anybody can push buttons on a keyboard, you idiot. More cosmopolitans. Pump titties. One of the best scenes in Vanderpump Rules history. Sandoval saying that Katie doesn't realize how damaging her behavior is in regards to Schwartz, which is fucking rich, coming from his disgusting little gray-haired mouth, okay, from his vampire face. It's like, really, that's so interesting. Do you not understand what your behavior did to your ex-girlfriend and what is currently happening right now? Do you not understand that your behavior as an asshole is what's holding up your girlfriend from moving on with her fucking life because you want to hold something over with the house, you wacko? Go watch the past seasons, okay? Maybe you'll learn something, you demon. Schwartz decides to make Ariana a groomsman without consulting Katie. He's like, I'm just gonna do it. Katie didn't want Ariana as a bridesmaid, so why do you think it's a good idea for her to be a groomsman? Again, not listening at all. I'm not gonna lie, if I was Ariana, I would have said no. I would have been like, you know what? She didn't want me as a bridesmaid. I'm not going to be a groomsman. That doesn't feel right in my soul. That's what I would have done. But what the fuck do I know, apparently? Katie is clearly didn't want, Ariana as a bridesmaid, which we obviously know that. And Schwartz doing that, I felt was really fucked up and really, again, another example of how he never listens to her. He never takes into consideration how she's feeling, what she's going through. He's just an asshole. He's just an asshole. It just is. Facts are facts, you guys. Facts are facts. He's an asshole, okay? It is what it is. Schwartz makes her eat the shrimp and steak ass meal like the boys had to do. And looking back now, that is the fact that he had her as a groomsman in his wedding to only 5 or 6 years later ultimately betray the absolute shit out of her and help perpetuate and talk about and keep these lies from her. It's so disturbing to me. It is so disturbing to me that he did that.